Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is our first lecture of biology. So first let me introduce myself. I am Afreen Madam. Then let me introduce you with the chapters in biology. There are total 16 chapters and we are having 4 teachers in biology. Every teacher will start with one chapter. Okay, so let us start with a chapter, that is chapter number 9, and the name of the chapter is Morphology of Flowering Plants. The name of the chapter is Morphology of Flowering Plants, and this is chapter number 9. First, let me introduce you with the term morphology. Morphology is a branch of science. Morphology is the branch of science which deals with the study of forms and structure. What is morphology? Morphology is the branch of science that deals with the study of form and the structure. In botany, it means the study of external features, the study of external features, forms and relative position of different organs in plants. Okay, in botany, what is the meaning of morphology? The study of external features, or we can say forms and relative position of different organs in plants. Or in a simple form, we can say morphology is the study of different parts or different organs of the plant. The organs, the parts that we can see, we call it as external organ. Okay, if we study all the external parts of the plant, means we are studying with the morphology. Okay, to study the external features, external parts of the organism, that is the plant. Okay, and if we are studying the external feature, we call it as external. We can also call it as external morphology. Okay, means we are studying with the external characters of the plant, so we call it as external morphology. Next is angiosperms. Now, students, we see in our surrounding different types of plants. In our surrounding, we find many kinds of plants are present. Means, many kinds means some are flowering plants and some are non-flowering plants. And we find some plants are flowering, some are without flower. So angiosperms are flowering plants. Okay, angiosperms are flowering plant, and we find flowering plant in our surrounding. We find more flowering plant. Why we find more flowering plant in our surrounding? Because these flowering plant are well adapted to the environmental conditions. Okay, they are well adapted to the environmental condition. Means whatever environment is present, they try to adapt this environment. Environment means if they are found in water, they get adapted to the water condition. If you find desert area, then the plants which are present in desert are adapted themselves for the desert condition. If soil is present, sandy area is present, then the plant has adapted to that particular sand, or we can say rocks. Okay, so as they different types of variation they have adapted, different type of changes we will find in this type of flowering plant. This type of adaptation, or we can say this type of variation, the changes helps the plant body to carry out different functions. Okay, as they have shown variation, the changes in their plant, the changes they have adapted, the changes, this changes has helped this plant to survive to that environment. Okay, and they can carry out different functions. See, as I said, different type of environments are present. So angiosperms are classified accordingly. Okay, as different types of environment. For example, desert environment, then aquatic environment, sandy environment, rock area is present, then saline soil is present. These angiosperms are classified accordingly. Okay, so angiosperms can be classified into different types on the basis of the habitat. They are classified on the basis of the habitat, and you can see it can be classified as follows. So first is hydrophytes. Hydrophytes. Angiosperms are hydrophytes. Hydrophytes means the plant which are found in aquatic habitat. Okay, the plants which grow in aquatic habitat means the plants which grow in water. Okay, the plant which grow in water, example is hydrilla. As hydrilla is found in water, this hydrilla has adapted the characters which are necessary for hydrilla to survive in water. Okay, so they are known as hydrophytes. Plants present in water, plant growing in aquatic habitat. Then next angiosperms are xerophytes. Okay, angiosperms are xerophytes. Xerophytes means the plants growing in desert area. The plant growing in desert area means the area where less water is present. Okay, or less rainfall you can see. scanty of water is present, and rainfall is also very less, means they get very little water. They get very little water. Okay, and that plants are, example is Opuntia. Opuntia is found in desert region where less amount of water is present. Scarcity of water is present. Okay, so these plants are known as xerophytes. Okay, what are xerophytes? Xerophytes are the plants growing in desert area. Then third one is psammophytes. Psammophytes are the plants which are growing in sandy soil. Okay, psammophytes are the plants which are found in sandy soil. Sand is present at that area where the plant grow. That type of plants are known as psammophytes. An example is Elymus. Okay, Elymus grows in sandy area, so they are known as psammophytes. Then fourth is lithophytes. Lithophytes are the plants which are growing on the rocks. Okay, the plants growing on the rocks, they grow on the rock. So this type of plants are known as lithophytes, and the example of lithophyte is Coccidium. Okay, Coccidium are lithophytes, means they can grow on the rock. Okay, then the last is halophytes. Halophytes are the plants which are growing in saline soil, means away from seashore. Okay, saline area. Example is Rhizophora. The plants found in saline area are known as halophytes. They are mainly mangrove plants. Okay, example is Rhizophora. Another example is also there, but Avicennia. But as only one example is present, we will study later. Okay, so what are angiosperms? Angiosperms are the flowering plants, and they are classified into 5 types, that is hydrophytes growing in water, xerophytes growing in desert area, psammophytes growing in sandy area, lithophytes growing on the rocks, and the last is halophytes which are growing in saline soil. So we'll start with morphology, that is the study of the characters, external characters or forms of the plants. Okay. Now if we see a typical plant, this is a typical angiospermic plant. If we see a typical angiospermic plant, then what we will find, this plant has divided into 2 structures. Okay, if we see a typical plant, this typical plant shows 2 types of structure. One is vegetative structure and the other one is reproductive structure. Okay, a typical angiospermic plant shows vegetative structure and reproductive structure. Now this vegetative structure includes root, stem and leaves. Vegetative structure includes three, that is root, stem and leaves. Whereas reproductive structure includes flowers, fruits and seeds. Okay, reproductive structure includes flowers, fruits and seeds. Now if we see a typical flowering plant, then you can see it is divided into two systems. A typical flowering plant is divided into two systems. One is root system and the other one is shoot system. Root system is the part of the plant which is found below the soil, comes under root system. Means it includes root, because root is found below the soil. So a typical flowering, we are talking about a typical flowering plant, not the modifications, only a typical flowering plant. So the part of the plant which is present inside the soil, that is root, comes under root system. Okay, then the part of the plant which is found above the soil comes under shoot system. Okay, the part of the plants that are found above the soil comes under shoot system, and this includes stem, leaves, flowers, fruit, seed. So these are included under shoot system. Okay, as we are studying about the morphology, means the study of the parts of the plant, we'll start with root. Okay, so first, what is root? How will you define a root? A root is the descending part of the plant body. A root is the descending part of the plant body. This, and if you see the root, it is positively geotropic, positively hydrotropic. Okay, it is positively geotropic, as it grows inside the soil, so it is positively geotropic. It is positively hydrotropic, means water loving. Okay, then it is negatively phototropic. Negatively phototropic means as it do not faces the sun, it grows away from sunlight, so it is negatively phototropic and aerotropic. So if we see a typical root, how will we explain a typical root? A typical root is the descending part of the plant which is positively geotropic, positively hydrotropic, but negatively phototropic and aerotropic. Then if we see roots, then roots grow, as I say, it grows below the soil. As it grows below the soil, it grows towards the gravity. Roots grow beneath the soil surface, means towards the gravity. Then if you see a typical root, roots are non-green in color. Roots are non-green in color. As they are non-green, they cannot perform photosynthesis. As roots are non-green, they cannot perform photosynthesis. Then they are cylindrical in shape. You can see they are cylindrical in shape. And without nodes and internodes. Roots are without nodes and internodes. You cannot find a node and internode in a root. Okay. Then next is a typical root structure. If we see a typical root, then it consists of following regions. Okay. If we see a typical root, it shows different regions. First is meristematic region. Meristematic region. In the meristematic region, you will find root cap is present. In the meristematic region, root cap is present. This cap is present over growing apex. You can see this cap is present at the tip of the root. So this region is the meristematic region, and at this region, that is the tip region, root cap is present. As root cap is present, these cells of the root cap, they secrete mucilage. Okay, the cell secrete mucilage. And what is the function of the mucilage? Mucilage helps for the lubrication of the passage. As this root grows deep in the soil, it has to move inside the soil. It requires lubrication, and this lubrication is provided by the mucilage, and mucilage is secreted by the root cap. Means this, as the cells of the root cap, they shows, and also the cells of the root cap, they shows large granules. This root cap secrete mucilage, which helps for the lubrication of the passage, and also this root cap helps in to move the root inside the soil. And also this root cap protects the meristematic cell, the cell which are present at this region, that is the tip of the root. That cells are protected by the root cap. Okay. Then next is meristematic region. This meristematic region they consist of newly grown cells. All new cells are added here at this region, that is known as meristematic region. Okay. This meristematic cell are later on passed into the upper region. That region is known as region of cell elongation. Region of cell elongation. What is done in region of cell elongation? The meristematic cell, that is the newly added cell, are passed into the region of cell elongation, where the cell get elongated. The size of the cell get increase at this region, that is region of elongation. Then also this region helps in absorption of the mineral salts. This region helps to absorb the minerals from the soil. Then the next region is the region of root hairs. At this region you can see the roots are present, root hairs are present at this region. This root hair helps the root to absorb the water from the soil. Root hairs helps to absorb water from the soil. And the last region is region of maturation. At this region all the matured cells are present. At this region the cells get matured, and the function of this region is this region helps to pass water and mineral to the upper part of the plant. Okay, this region helps to pass the water and minerals to the upper part. Okay, so a typical root structure consists of, you can see, 5 regions are present. One is region of root cap, where the root cap is present at the apex, and the function of root cap is protection as well as lubrication. Means it helps to lubricate the passage. Then next is meristematic region, where new cells are added. Then region of cell division, where cell get elongated and also helps in the absorption of minerals. Next is region of root hairs, where long root hairs are present, which helps in the absorption of water. And the last is region of maturation. Here the cell get totally matured, and also they helps to pass the water and minerals to the upper part of the plant. Okay students, today we have studied the morphology, that is the definition of morphology. Then we have studied about the angiosperm, and in morphology we have started with the root morphology, where we have studied the introduction of root, definition of root, and also regions of a typical root. Okay, next we will study function as well as modification of root in our next lecture. Okay, thank you.